welcome to what is called a RobBlog. RobBlog. Yes, and it's actually a vlog, but I call it RobBlog. Basically because it's my blog and I can call it whatever in heck I like. So how's the heat going for you? Yes, it's we're in July. It's to be expected, but it has been a little warm, hasn't it? And if you don't have air conditioning in your home, it can make for some rough sleeping nights. But you know, here's the thing. Here on the island, our nights cool down. So we could be at 32 degrees, 36 degrees in the daytime, and in the evening it might cool down to 14 or 15 degrees. So you can actually open the windows again. I've never been much of a person who likes to sleep in air conditioning, with that air conditioning, blowing on me. So I'd rather maybe have it a little warm and a nice fan blowing, a ceiling fan. But it certainly is nice to have in the day. And the hot sun we get at the back of our house, it comes through these huge windows. And basically, you could throw a little bit of cookie dough, on the floor, and you'd have a batch of cookies in no time flat. So do be careful of the heat. Drink lots of water, lots and lots of water. Everyone advises you that. So just make sure that you are well hydrated in this warm weather, especially if you're working outside. Be careful and wear a hat. Funny me saying that. I don't wear a hat very, very often unless I'm going to work in the yard for an extended period, and then I'll put it on. But I'm very bad. So I do try to plop a little bit of sunblock up here at the top of the head. Okay, so the heat, my goodness. And it's warm on the island, that's for sure. Talking to friends in the last couple of days on the island, the word isolated came up a few times. And let me tell you why some of us here on the island feel isolated. Now, in the summertime, June, July, August, parts of September, people travel to British Columbia, and they travel to, well, not only our island, Vancouver Island, the Big Island, but they travel to Salt Spring Island and a lot of other islands that are in Galiano, that are all in this area. And what that does, ladies and gentlemen of the RobBlog audience, it means that the ferries are exceedingly busy, and airlines as well. So there's only so many airlines that fly into Victoria International or Nanaimo or up in Comox. And what happens is, in the summer, all you lovely people come to visit our beautiful island, and then everything is full. The highways, there's one main highway up Vancouver Island. The Island Highway goes in Victoria. It actually is Trans-Canada 1, and it goes all the way up to Nanaimo, and then the ferry continues Trans-Canada 1 over to Vancouver, where Trans-Canada 1 continues across the country. Now, the highway does continue past Nanaimo and goes way up to the tip, Port Hardy, and everything like that. But we do feel isolated sometimes in the summer, and the main reason is because it is tough for us as islanders to get off the island to enjoy other parts of the province because of the ferry situation. So the ferries run all day long up to about 10:45 at night, but sailings can get missed. For some reason, in recent years since COVID, there's always a problem with staffing. And so it's like an airline. If there's not enough people on the ship to watch out for us, those of us traveling, then the ship can't sail, and that backs up the sailing. So we are isolated, and we are at the mercy, really, of the ferries and of the airlines, because unless you can swim super long distances with your bag on your back and your carry-on luggage in your hand, you can't get anywhere, because that's the only way we can get off the island is by ferry and by aircraft. And it's something, if you're not used to it, and being an Easterner, if you're not used to it, it takes a little bit of explaining. So you just can't pick up and like this morning think, oh, let's drive to Calgary. Let's go to Calgary. We'll just drive up and get on a ferry. Ha ha. May not be possible. You should always make a reservation ahead, because I'm telling you, hundreds of people. And then you have to wait for a couple of sailings. It cuts into your day. Plus the sailing is about an hour and 40 minutes. So, I must say, we are at the mercy of the ferries and the airlines to get off. And of course, with the airline, you can't exactly pack up your vehicle and take it with you, can you? So if you're going to take a flight, then you're going to have to rent a car at the other end if you want to go somewhere. Oh, I know. This is a small violin. I know some of you may be saying that now, but it's just reality here. Isolation on the island. All this kerfuffle going on with that bill about networks like, or platforms, I guess I should say, like Meta, who run Facebook, and what else do we have? Oh, Google and Instagram and whatnot. They're all going to stop. They're all going to stop showing Canadian news and doing links to Canadian news because Canadians want them to pay instead of using the Canadian news for free. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. We got along fine before we had Facebook and Instagram and Google and everything else. So, come on, really. Type in CBC News, CTV News, whatever. Type it in, and you'll get all the news you need. Why do you have to wait for your news to come through Google or through Meta's Facebook? Like, why? We got along fine without it for years. Remember, we used to read newspapers too? I still like reading a newspaper. It's just that you can't find one. We have one newspaper locally here, which is a free paper printed every week, but it doesn't get delivered to our door. And I always forget to look at the website. But I still like thumbing. I used to love thumbing through the Toronto Star, especially buying the Weekend Star. But it just doesn't happen. But boo-hoo-hoo. Find your news elsewhere, folks. You could go to all the Canadian news sources, and it's there. Don't let these big bullies who don't want to pay their fair share. Don't let them bully you into having to. I don't know what you would have to do. Would you have to go protest to the government saying, "Is it Bill C-18? Cut it out"? I don't know. There's got to be other ways to get your news. Now another search engine, and I don't know whether it's affected by this. They're starting to cut out Canadian news. Is Bing, B-I-N-G. Never been one of my favorites, but I'm trying to think now who runs Bing. I don't know who runs Bing. Anyways, I'm sure there's some other search engines out there, but if not, just look elsewhere for your news and quit the banana oil over it, okay? Quit the banana oil. There are other ways to get your news, and we used to get along fine. Got along without you before we met you, gonna get along without you now, you see? Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically it for this fine edition of RobBlog, really a vlog, but of course this is what I call it. RobBlog. Yeah. I should look into getting something a little more Hotsie Totsie, let's say, right? Maybe something more Hotsie Totsie than a blank sheet of paper with a black pen writing RobBlog. But it is a cute little flower, you have to admit, isn't it, down here? Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of RobBlog. Take care of yourselves. Remember, wear a hat and drink lots of water to hydrate, and look elsewhere for your news. It is not that tough to find. See you later. Take care of yourselves. Bye now, everybody. Bye. Enjoy the summer. Bye.